Folks, for the first time, President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID. The White House released this video of the president discussing his mild symptoms.
Hey, folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID. But I've been double vaccinated, double boosted. Symptoms are mild, and I really appreciate your inquiries and your concerns. But I'm doing well. I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm going to continue to get it done. And in the meantime, thanks for your concern, and keep the faith. It's going to be okay.
At today's White House press briefing, Press Secretary Karine, Jean-Pierre, and COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha gave an update on Biden's condition as well as the new variants.
This morning, as part of our routine screening program for the president, the SARS-CoV-2 virus was detected by antigen testing. This result was subsequently confirmed by a PCR test. On questioning, President Biden is currently experiencing mild symptoms, mostly a runny nose and fatigue, with an occasional dry cough, which started yesterday evening. Given that he meets USA Food and Drug Administration, FDA, Emergency Use Authority criteria for Paxlovid, I have recommended initiating such treatment. The president is fully vaccinated and twice boosted, so I anticipate that he will respond favorably as most maximally protected patients do. Early use of Paxlovid in this case provides additional protection against severe disease. He will isolate in accordance with CDC recommendations. I will keep your office updated with any changes in his condition or treatment plan. I also wanted to provide you with a brief readout of the president's activities today. The president has been working from the residence, like so many of us have during this pandemic, doing calls with senior staff, including the chief of staff, myself, and Dr. Jha, who's here with us. As we read out, the president also called Senator Casey, Representative Cartwright, mayors of Scranton, Mayor of Wilkesboro, and Representative Clyburn. The president also called a few of his cousins from Scranton who were set to attend today's event in Pennsylvania. And he spoke with Ambassador Giddenstein and Cornyn. You all have seen the photo he posted on and the video that was just released to all of you out of transparency moments ago. The president will continue to work from the residence. Today, as you all know, as I just mentioned, and as we sent out earlier, Dr. Ashish Jha, our COVID-19 response coordinator, is joining us today in the briefing room. And as I tweeted out earlier, Dr. Jha and I spoke to the president this morning, and he said he's feeling fine. He has a little dry cough, as I just mentioned from the doctor's letter, a little runny nose. He's feeling tired, but he's working very hard on behalf of the American people. And with that, Dr. Jha.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be with you. As Karine mentioned, I spoke to the president earlier. I also spoke at length with Dr. O'Connor, who is the president's personal physician. And I'm happy to share the readout of these conversations with you, and then I'm happy to take questions. In terms of my conversation with the president, he sounded great. I asked him, Mr. President, how are you feeling? He said, I'm feeling fine. He said he was feeling fine. He had been working all morning. He hadn't even been able to finish his breakfast because he had just been busy. I encouraged him to finish his breakfast. In terms of my conversation with Dr. O'Connor, we talked at length about what happened this morning. As Karine mentioned, the president got his regular testing that he does on his regular cadence. After he tested positive, he reported these symptoms that have been described. Dr. O'Connor examined him thoroughly. He found his exam to be normal, to be at his baseline. And then obviously he recommended that the president take Paxlovid. The president accepted that recommendation and has started Paxlovid and has taken his first course already. I want to also just take a minute.
All right, folks. I would hope people now realize that, again, we keep talking about it. Y'all, COVID is still real. And if y'all want to sit here and play around and you don't want to get vaccinated, okay, go right ahead. But trust me, your symptoms are going to be a hell of a lot more severe than if not. What we're seeing with these variants, Reese, We're seeing how people are impacted. And, there are people who are just floating around like it's no big deal. Oh, forget mask or washing hands and stuff along those lines. I flew the other day, and there was the number of people who were on the plane with no mask. I don't give a damn what they doing. Trust me. Ro going to be sitting there with a mask on, goggles, and covered up because I'm not about to sit. Look, I done had COVID twice. Ain't fun. Don't want to see a third time.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the middle of a summer surge that you wouldn't be able to tell because everybody's out living their best life, which I can understand as well. And I'm telling you what, if I, get it, it's not going to be from going to McDonald's. It's going to be from turning up a little bit. But, I think people have gotten a lot more relaxed when it comes to taking COVID protections. Maybe there's a sense of inevitability that they're going to get it and they're just going to get it however they get it. But the good news is that, even with the variants having lower if you've had COVID before, you have lower immunity in terms of even contracting coronavirus. But if you are vaccinated, it's still holding up quite well, even with we're on BA.5 now of Omicron, in terms of not being hospitalized and not dying. So we're in a much different position now than we were. And, ultimately, this is all we got. All you got is a vaccine, Jeff, because ain't nobody shutting down no more. Ain't nobody forcing people to wear a mask anymore. Nobody is doing anything except for saying, take this down, Paxlovid it, or get vaccinated. So if you don't want to do that, then good luck, bitches, pretty much. So I'm glad that the president is in good health. Hell, if Queen Elizabeth can survive COVID, I'm sure Biden will be all right as well. There are a lot of ways to treat the disease, the virus. And the other thing I'll say is get tested. If you're out there, you raw dog in the air, you ain't wearing a mask, you go and turn up and all that kind of stuff, get tested. If you have some symptoms, start to isolate because with the vaccines, people are developing symptoms before they turn infectious, before they turn positive on a rapid test. So if you feel a little tickle in your throat, if you have a little bit of a cough, it's probably best that you isolate for that day. It might take another day or two for a rapid test to go on. If you're going to an event, take a rapid test before you go. These are some of the ways that we can stop the spread. If you're having an event, tell people they got to get a little rapid test. They're readily available, and I just think that's the responsible thing to do. But I'm wishing the president a speedy recovery.
I mean, look, I don't understand, Greg, what the problem is with some of these folks. When I did my audio book, the reading last Wednesday and Thursday, allergies started kicking in. So I was just thinking, oh, man, goodness, this is COVID. Thursday, took a COVID test, negative. Took a COVID test on Sunday, negative. And again, that's the whole point of having the damn rapid test. The government is actually, they give you for free. All you got to do is just apply for it, and they'll mail it to you.
Well, 12.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're saying 12. In fact, I'm looking over here at the package of my 12 right here. And for all the people that say, I don't want no free stuff. Fools, it's not free. Did you pay your taxes this year? That's what we paid for them. There's no such thing as free coming from the government. We paid for those things. So, yes, I'm looking at my packages over there. And, and Eric and I last week were over at Sankofa here at a very important conversation we were having and participated in. And, we had masks, but what we're seeing is not the end of COVID, but the end of COVID protocols because people are and people wearing masks as chin straps. And, I came in with my mask on, but I put mine down and pulled it off because there's this sense of, well, I guess we're all right. But then you feel that tickle. I taught summer school this at Howard. These are my first in-person classes since March 2020. Now, I have been teaching nonstop. We've had classes all along. But I said, let me go up here and see people. I had the option of going on Zoom, but particularly we have a class of student athletes, freshman student athletes, the football, volleyball, basketball players. I wanted to see them. And I wanted to see this afternoon class with these young people in the CAR STEM Scholars Program. This is our 6th year. I wanted to see them at least once. So someone come up here. And as I traveled, people ain't got no mask walking around, come up on campus. People ain't got no mask on. Somebody got a mask on. And, of course, the vogue thing is they have the chin strap joint. So as if, well, I'm kind of compliant. So I get close enough. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm 57 years old. I'm not really as concerned about COVID, although I should be, because in the 2-week average, we're up to about 130,000 new cases a day. Hospitalizations are up 20% to about over 40,000, and deaths, which always lag, are up a third to about over 400 now. So I should be concerned, but I'm really concerned about finally long COVID. Because, it's been decades since I played baseball. I was a drum major in the band, but I did not pursue music. I make my craft with my mind. The thing that scares the hell out of me is that I'll start forgetting stuff. But that long COVID, and I'm glad you saved Erica for last, because she is going to help us understand that not only is this thing not passed, even when we get past it, this BA.5, which is 80% of the infections, I don't want to catch nothing that I have mild symptoms for. And by the way, shout out to Pete Buttigieg, who gave that boy from Texas, Troy Nels, his lunch the other day when he started talking about the 25th Amendment. Go check your boy over there, that boy Trump. But at any rate, what I'm terrified of is that long COVID, man, because we don't know. Yeah. We do not know. Yeah. So, that's where I am on it right now. And I'm looking at them tests. Y'all go get these tests. You already paid for them. Let them mail them to your house and use them, as Reese said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't understand why people resist this, Erica. It makes no sense. I mean, look, I have been in places where I did not wear a mask. It all depended upon where I was, depended upon how many people were in the room, depending upon how far away I was standing from people, all those different things. But I guarantee you, mask is in the pocket. And then there are times when I'm putting it on, if I'm getting on the elevators, I'm in closed spaces. And so there are different ways people can actually do this. You don't have to always, be like seriously, for me, I don't get the people who walk around outdoors, okay, down the street, ain't nobody around with a damn mask on. Okay, now that's just me, okay, because kind of like, ain't nobody here. Now maybe he's trying to block himself from pollution. Okay, I give you that one. But trust me, it's like if I get off the airplane, I mean, I'm sitting here, ain't nobody around me, I'm probably gonna take my mask off. But it's just common sense. And unfortunately, there are too many folks who are walking around acting as if this is no big deal.
Yeah, a lot of the common sense is lacking, and we really should be definitely celebrating that we do have a competent leader who is demonstrating. It was noted that, and he said it himself, President Biden, that he is double vaccinated and double boosted, as am I, and still exercise those very protections that you, Reese, and Greg talked about. I went to a concert. Me and my partner went to a concert a few weeks ago and went to go and see my first boyfriend, my first rap crush, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, a slate of other hip hop all-stars. And, we had incredible seating. However, the responsible thing to do, it was an outdoor facility. So when you're in an outdoor space, you want to get all the fresh air you can. It's not like you were talking about, Roland, being in a plane. However, when we got to a space where we were a little bit close to the front, wore the mask. And then when we got comfortable enough, because we've been doing the responsible thing, we took off the mask and we absolutely enjoyed ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, I flowed with them. Rakim made eye contact with me. Shout out to the God MC. But we enjoyed ourselves and we had a really good time. But we were able to have a good time because of what everyone on this panel has talked about. We have been responsible people. And so if you are being responsible, not doing what the son of a Klansman did when he held office, which was listen to the likes of Joe Rogan and taking horse tranquilizers and telling people to drink bleach and sit up under a UV light, all of these really irresponsible things that really did contribute to people who are long haulers, as they're being called, for this new and novel virus, definitely attributed to folks' death. And just a real misinformation and disinformation, which Reese specializes and talks about, that is very much so targeted to our community. If people would actually peel back the layers of silliness and exercise, when you talked about rolling common sense, if you're going to be in an area that is pretty crowded, put your mask on. When you get to a space of fresh air, especially if you're out walking, you're out exercising, get all of that fresh air in. But absolutely go and make sure that you are making use of the N95 mask. Make sure that you're making use of those vaccine tests that, as Dr. Carr said, that we paid for. And be responsible and wash your damn hands. Sing the alphabet. Don't just throw it up underwater. Wash your damn hands for at least 26 seconds and make sure that you are not participating in potlucks. I think if we kind of exercise some of the common sense tools, that we could actually help to encourage other people to do the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm telling you right now, ain't gonna be no damn potlucks. That ain't gonna happen. Because first of all, everybody can't cook. So let's just go ahead and say that.
That's number one.
All right, y'all. That ain't gonna happen. All right.
All right, folks. Back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?